Hi there.
Hi, welcome back to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
It is the beginning of March 2024. We are going to recap our top 10 selling items for the month of February. And we've got some amazing stuff that we want to show you guys. One of the focuses that we always try to have is that we always want to sell amazing pieces. So we do sell some average pieces, some common stuff.
Sure, that's going to be the meat and potatoes of our business.
Right. That bread and butter stuff is our normal, common pieces. But we like to share those exceptional pieces as well. Unfortunately, we just don't find 14,000 exceptional pieces. So
it'd be nice.
Building a store around exceptional pieces is amazing if you have the capability. We just can't find that kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about the exceptional pieces that we had listed that did sell. And first of all, we've got this gorgeous 14 karat gold pink topaz diamond cocktail ring. So you got the diamonds, you got the pink topaz,
and I mean it's a really nice piece. It's kind of minimalistic. It's not like that big huge, like I like the big stones, but it's something that you can wear every day.
So give them a show.
Okay, yeah, see, that's my topaz and my pink sapphire. So like I love my big stones. But which is why this one went in this store and this one, didn't go in my jewelry box. But it's a very nice piece. These rings if we're lucky, we can get a gold ring for $100. So our input cost is really high on the fine jewelry a lot of the times if it's not like found gold. When I'm able to like buy an entire lot and somebody missed a piece of gold, which is obviously it's uncommon, but that's when I really get to make money on the gold. When I'm buying gold pieces, I just can't. People are going to buy it for at least for melt. And then a lot of times our customers aren't buying unless it's melt. So it's really, really hard to get these pieces.
The fine jewelry category on eBay is very hard.
It is.
And part of what you have to consider on this is that you're dealing with international sellers as well as, people that may be selling off their own jewelry collection. Maybe it's something that they wanted to pawn, and the pawn store is going to pay you 50 cents on the dollar for melt. So I want you to take into consideration right now today, the melt value on gold, 14 karat, $38 a gram. The reality is that piece was 3.8 grams. So more than half the value of that ring is actually tied up in the gold value.
Right. So that's $145 of that $200 sale is just the melt value. Right. So that's why it's so hard for me to do those gold pieces. They're hard. Which is why we do most of our things are costume jewelry, because the margins just aren't there. So like if you look at it, the net sale after you take out the taxes and stuff is $170 and the melt's $145. Our buy-in price was probably between $100 and $120. So
so we got, the reality is we turned about $50 profit on a $214 piece.
Right. So which is that 25% margin, which is what we,
And you know what? We're super happy with $50 on the sale of a product, but I just want people to take that into consideration. Gold is very expensive. It's expensive for a dealer. It's expensive for the consumer. Yeah. So it is a hard market.
And there's lots of choices out there.
If you want to have thousands of pieces, you're going to have thousands of dollars invested in gold. Yeah. And that's really a tough place for most of us small resellers that we don't personally have a business loan that we're tapping into to go out and buy all of our inventory. All of our inventory is cash flow. So if you don't have $10,000 to invest in gold jewelry to start up your eBay business, you're kind of locked out of that market.
Yeah.
And at least
and $100 is a big input cost for us. I mean, if you look at some of the other things we've done, that jewelry buyout that we did at Webster's a couple of months ago was $100 for her entire booth.
It was all fashion and costume jewelry.
Right.
And since you brought it up,
there were lots of different pieces. So, it's a very different, business model.
Yeah. So the next one that we've got here is going to be another piece of fine jewelry.
This is a super cool piece.
Native American chief warrior face dressed
headdress.
Headdress, turquoise ring. 10.5 was the size.
Mm-hmm.
It sold for $199.99. The net sale on that was $155, and our input cost
was $130. So again, you really, really, really have to be careful with some of these fine jewelry pieces because the input cost is so high. Now, this one is actually just all profit because we bought this in a collection of 3 rings, and plus we had that antique silver ring. So we bought 4 different rings at the same time, and the average price of these 3 fine pieces were $130. However, the other 2 pieces we were able to sell for $400 and $300. So we made our profit back because of the other pieces. This one took longer to sell, and that net profit was almost zero. Again,
$20 profit.
Yeah.
So if you were going out buying the pieces individually, you would have $135, $130 input cost on this ring.
Yeah.
Again, $150 or $200 sale price sounds amazing. Everyone's talking about ASP. I agree. Drive up that ASP, but you still got to keep those costs down.
Mm-hmm.
We have some of these pieces, again, because we want to have higher quality pieces in our store. Not because it's necessarily, we're going to kill it on price points. It's because we want people to come to look and see that we do have good, high quality merchandise.
And it does lead some credence to the quality of the store. They may see this ring and come into our store because of this amazing piece. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't have $200, but look, she's got 8 other Native American rings in the $30 to $50 range. Mm-hmm. And so maybe they'll buy that instead.
So next up, we've got a Native American pink opal Heshi necklace. This was absolutely amazing.
It really, really was.
Very rare materials. You don't see the pink opal.
Yeah, there was nothing else that I could find when I was doing my comps on this piece. And so that was really cool. And also it's really hard because then you have to just come up with some number that is going to be fair, because you want it to be something that it's a good quality piece, so you want to get your money's worth, but you don't want to rip anybody off, and you want it to sell. So it's really hard when you have those. So this specific piece, we had purchased it at a market. We paid $35.
Mm-hmm. We had it priced originally at $300. So it was in our store for a couple of months. And a person reached out to us, and they do Native American jewelry repair.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a piece. They're looking for specific types of beads to put their piece together. They noticed that this was a rather plain piece compared to what they were working with, and they want to know if we bring the price down. So you see the $164.63.
Yep.
We made about $90 on this piece, so we are ecstatic with that sale price.
Yeah.
We took the offer. Next up, Native American Zuni watch tips.
These are beautiful. You're going to see
a lot of these watch tips. Now, we've talked about them when we bought it. We paid melt value for silver, which is right around 70 cents a gram.
Mm-hmm.
And so you will see multiple of those watch tips in this
and last
collection.
Month, a lot of them were the watch tips as well. So this was just an amazing buy that we made. Basically, when you got down to it, we bought 35 pieces, and they were about $13.50 a piece. When you looked at it per piece, per
we paid $500 for 35 pieces.
Right. So these here are really awesome because they've got that purple shiny oyster or spiny oyster inlay, and there's really not a lot of that color, and so that's why I priced these up. That's why we were able to get the good, and they are Zuni pieces, which the Zuni are certainly quality.
Yeah, the purple spiny oyster is rather rare in all jewelry, so that also helps as well. So the total sale at $160, the net sale $110, and again, our input cost was $14.
Yeah,
so absolutely amazing. $95 profit.
These are great, and now I think we're in we're in the black on that buy. So now between last month and this month, it's all gravy now. I love it. These next ones, I really thought they were amazing. These are the turquoise mosaic. It's another Zuni piece, and these were really super cool. So those turquoise inlay pieces that you see are like pyramids. They're super cool the way they're shaped. This piece, I found a comp that was just stupid low. They had them for $50 or something. And I'm like, that's not right. Because there were a couple of other comps that I found that were a little higher priced, but they weren't exactly like mine. So these are another pair that I did. I priced up because they're worth it. And sometimes you have to look, and that's the nice thing about having some depth in category, is that I had a lot of pieces to do the research on. So I got to learn a lot about these watch tips, and I could see a lot of different comps, so that I could kind of gauge and say, no, these are definitely a better piece and they deserve to be priced up. And then we were able to actually get it, which is awesome.
So those sold for $144.78. I'm not sure why.
We sent a 10%.
Okay.
Offer.
Our selling cost on that was $36.78. So that's pretty out of line for that item, I think. But our net sale, $98. Again, that $14 input cost is going to bring us down to $84 profit. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
We're over 50% profit on that item. So absolutely love it.
And
so we've got the combination. We've got the low input cost, we've got the high ASP, and we've got the fact that it sold in less than a month. So all of my favorite things in one spot.
Yeah.
So Native American Hopi.
So this is another pair of watch tips. These are the Hopi. These are the Cocopelli. And again, those are very iconic. With that Cocopelli figure. So I was able to get a much better price on these, and they sold. So again, these don't have any of that inlay or anything like that, but because of the figure roll and things like that, that's why these were able to get a little bit higher price.
$124.99 total sale. The net after shipping and everything, $104.08. Next one up, another pair of Hopi. These ones were 12 karat gold fill, so they actually gold over silver on these turquoise watch tips.
And these were signed, which is awesome. If you can find signed pieces, that helps tremendously.
I was actually going to talk about it at the end of this piece, is that the majority of these pieces were signed by the artist and required us to do the research.
So much research.
And name the piece.
Yep. Because
with the tribe.
Yeah, it's just you're just getting a piece of silver, right? And it may have the signature, but the signatures are like P, or this one is KT, or sometimes it's just a picture. And so then I have to go through, and I've got to go to all of these different websites to try to figure out who the tribe is, who the silversmith is, and it takes a lot of research. Now I've got some bookmark pages in my, but it takes some work. So these are not throw it up in 5 minutes types of pieces. It probably takes at least a half hour to list,
to do the research,
and do the research and things like that.
I want to caution people. There are a lot of Asian import knockoff silver pieces that look like Native American jewelry. They are made with inferior materials. They are made with inferior craftsmanship.
Yep.
They are often not signed. they are either not signed at all, or they are signed.
They just say 925
with 925, or they're signed with like a weird pictograph that's not a Native American symbol. So it's some, maybe it was the company that, maybe the company symbol or something. We've seen a couple of those. Mm-hmm. There were some trading some trading centers that have marked it. We've seen some that are marked with pawn shop marks. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of different markings. You have to be aware of what you have.
Yes.
Please do not attribute something as being Native American. We actually bought something on eBay. The person claimed it was Native American.
Yes, and it was Lucky Brand. Like, seriously. Right. They do have the tribal Native American category. But like you're not supposed to use that unless it's actually Native American. So like, you have to have some scruples, and you need to be aware and not get cheated yourself, because a new, import piece that looks like you're not going to get these prices, because it's not worth it. It's not that handcrafted, in the 40s to the 70s that's what these pieces are.
Right. So please use discretion. Mm-hmm. Make sure you know what you're doing. Again, it is illegal to attribute something to a tribe or artisan that is not authentic. So do not break federal law.
Yes, please.
By doing that. Next up, we have a pair of bicycle license plates. So a lot of communities would have license plates in the 1950s through the 1970s again, and you'd have to have your bicycle registered. You'd have to pay to get a license plate from the state or from your city. So we actually bought a collection of these. These have been in our store for 3 years.
Forever.
And so the person contacted us. I had these marked at $75 per piece. They said, I will give you $100 for the pair.
And we said, yes,
that's
please.
A 30% discount. I'm in. And so $106.25 on this pair of license plates. The net sale on that, $83.78. I had $10 into each plate. So we're going to end up making $60 on that deal.
That's awesome.
Very happy with it. Again, a bicycle license plate. I've sold these individually for $70, $80, $90 if you can find them. Keep in mind, these are state issued. They are not cereal box license plates. These are not tourist.
Please be careful. Again, know what you have. They're not plastic.
Right.
They're not the ones that say,
Wheaties.
Speedy or whatever.
The Wheaties ones drive me crazy.
Not the same. Know what you have.
Right. Next up, another Native American piece.
Yep. And this one is turquoise. And then they have the silver bench beads. So that was a term that I had to learn, bench beads. Those are the ones that have like the two pieces of silver that are then fused together. They're also called Navajo pearls. They're bench beads. They're silver beads. So it's really nice when you know the right terms, so that your buyer, who's actually looking for the real deal, can then find your pieces.
Right. So this is the turquoise with the silver bench beads. $105.29. Mm-hmm. Total selling cost was $23.95, bringing it down to $76.04. Again, I think our input on that. I have
no idea how much I paid for this piece, because I have no idea when we got it or anything. I think we've had it for a while. I have no idea.
And so this is the part of, we buy lots. We buy collections. Oftentimes we buy 20, 50, even 100 or more pieces in one collection.
Right.
To attribute an individual value to something like this. We could have had $1 into it. We could have had $30 into it. It's really hard. I mean,
I would know if I had 30 into it, because I would remember that, because every dollar that I spend is a lot in my heart. So I know that if it's like a $10, like that's a lot of input cost for a single piece. I remember those pieces.
Right. So the next one, this was another deal where they had actually reached out to us. They saw that we had the listings up, and they said, can you put two of these together and make a deal for us? So we did. And so for us, this was the Native American Navajo turquoise. These are ladies' watch tips.
So the ladies' watch tips do not fetch the same price. And I think it's because there's more guys that are wearing the Southwest jewelry than ladies.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter the craftsmanship. It just doesn't matter. The ladies' watch tips are not going to get the same price that the men's watch tips are going to get.
Right. So these sold for $97.43 after shipping, eBay fees, all of that stuff, advertising. It brought it down to $72.67. Taking out our input cost of $28 brings it down to $44. Again, just below
Still
50%.
A great deal.
Absolutely love that. You know, we've got the average sale price at $97. Our profit $44. Absolutely love it. Now, again, we do want to specify we had over 400 sales.
Yeah,
in the
422 sales.
Right. We had 9 that were over $100.
Yes.
Everything else was below that. So please don't take this as a representation of our daily business. Our average sale I'm looking at right now for February, $20.82. So even though we had 9 items over 100, we had a significant number under 20. eBay has released in their earnings month after month after month, every year, forever. Their average sale price on the platform is $20. Yeah. We fall right in line. Even with these really nice high-end pieces, it really is hard to get that average sale price up.
It is.
And we find that a lot of our customers like the lower value. It's easy to spend $20. It's hard to spend $200.
It's so real. It is so real. You know, it happens in our household all the time. There are times that I'll be like, okay, well, we need to get this, that, or the other thing. And I'll be like, we're going to wait because I don't want to spend $50 on that. Or, you know what I mean? And so we end up waiting an awful long time. And sometimes we just don't even buy it because I just can't justify it. But if it's $10, okay, I can do that. You know, if it's $20, all right, well, we can do that. We can spend $20. That's not a problem. But once it hits more than that, once it's $30, $40, it's hard to justify in your head when you know your budget, you know? Right.
So, you know, I do appreciate that people are trying to push up those high ASPs, but please keep in mind that, and you're going to have to measure it by your business, what types of items you sell.
Sure.
For us, we have a good proportion of our items that are over $50. They don't sell every day.
Yeah.
We really are a bread and butter business. The majority of the items that we're selling, the majority of that 400 items is $20 or less.
Right. So if that's your store too, that's okay. You're doing good.
Control your costs.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's okay to be average. Our whole goal is to support our household and to be able to do this together. And we're able to do that with this business.
Right. Right. So starting last month, we did 2 shows. We did one show on our top items. We did one show on our dollars. So we'll have the P&L report on Monday. We're going to show you, where did the money go? How much money did we make? What were our total sales for the entirety of our business?
Right.
Every single channel of our income.
Right. So our whatnot and both of the stores and all of it. So what does it look like for our business for the month so that you can see it is possible. It really is. I know that we talk a lot about how hard it is because it is hard, but it is possible. And we're going to show you our numbers so that you can see a realistic, this is what it is. No, it's not, $1 million business. But if you can bring your spending in line, and if you can bring your household budget in line, if you've been able to maybe get out of debt, or if you've got some other income like retirement income that can kind of help you supplement, you know, then you'll be able to see the numbers and see exactly what it looks like. So tune in on Monday so that you can see that. I think it's I know it's numbers, so it's kind of boring, but we try to like.
It's dry, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do that. So that way on Monday, if you're interested in numbers and you're interested in all of the analytics, you'll have access to that information. And then tell us what you think about the great items that we had today.
And what were your best items in, you know, what were your top items in the month of February as well? Because like, totally brag on yourself, like be proud of yourself. This is a hard thing to do. And it's important to look back and to see the progress that you've made over the month. And then, you know, maybe look forward into the next month and, you know, maybe set some goals.
All right. Thank you guys for checking in with us today. We will see you again on Monday.
All right. Thanks so much. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Good luck to you out there.